So the only other thing I asked you about, only because it's happening next week, and of course you were with Golden Boy Canelo Munguia. Did you ever spend time with Canelo at all, training around him while you were at Golden Boy? And what do you think about his fight with Munguia? Do you think Canelo's it's an easy fight for him? You know, some people say Munguia is tailor-made, or do you think he's gonna have a hard time?
The only experience I had with Canelo Alvarez is the looming idea that I could have took everything away from him early on in his career because we actually grew up in the same gyms in Guadalajara. We boxed in the same gyms, and and in that time period where I was doing my thing in boxing in Guadalajara, and he was too. And when he turned pro, it had a lot of people putting a whole lot of money involved in him. You know what I mean? Had a lot of like drug dealers and all that stuff taking care of him and pushing his career forward. And while they were giving out checks to his opponents, a lot of people in the gyms were trying to tell me that, look, you can go ahead and beat that guy. You know what I mean? And you can beat him right now while he's nothing. You know what I mean? There was a lot of talks like that before, when I was a little kid. You know what I mean? Starting off in the gyms and everything. Because we came out of the same areas, in the same gyms, you know. So that was an issue. But outside of that, like no, I've never really been involved with Canelo or Jaime Munguia. I just know them. I've seen them a few times. I might have been to a couple events that had them in there. Um, like beyond all of that, I might have a whole lot to say about the whole Jaime Munguia fight because I feel as though Jaime Munguia never really fought somebody that people thought he was going to lose to at up like ever, or even fought like what we consider a 50-50 fight, which is like crazy. Cause like that's all I've been fighting. I've been fighting motherfuckers that people thought I was gonna lose. And like at best, you probably could add like maybe it might be a 50-50. Might, but I give it a little bit to him. Like, you know what I mean? I've been fighting those and winning. You know what I mean? And none of these fighters is getting that kind of treatment. But the whole thing is, but then you want to call yourself the best. I call myself the most exciting man in boxing because of that. But everybody else is bitches. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's how I feel. But regardless, incredible fighter. Still an incredible fighter. Still an incredible fighter. And I got nothing but respect and love for Jaime Munguia and Canelo Alvarez.
Got you. Do you favor any one of them in the fight, or you don't have an opinion on it?
Yeah, I think they're fighting, right? That's signed.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, do you favor like one or the other? Do you think Canelo will win, or do you think
I
Munguia?
think I think Canelo has far too much experience, but Jaime Munguia has a little bit more ability than most people. I mean, he's very active with his punches. He's very calculative. He can box very well. You know what I mean? He has very little wear and tear. I mean, you'll still see Canelo. I would wager you'll still see Canelo with a brace on his knee, like Stone Cold Steve Austin in the late later years. You like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know. But I just know that Canelo has far too much experience. Like he's a checkmate fighter for real. Like Bevo was too big and far too active to get caught. I just don't see Jaime Munguia being the exact same way. Like Jaime Munguia is not in that weight class. Jaime Munguia is a lower weight class. Am I correct?
168. I think he's fought at 160 in the past, but I'm not sure. I'd have to look at his box rec and see who he fought last at what weight. But yeah, I mean, he's at 168 for this fight. That's for sure. That's for
Okay.
sure. But I want to see
Yeah.
him fought at 160 mostly. I could be off there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Either way, I think it'd be a great fight. But Jaime Munguia truly deserve it. Not really. I think that's just something that's forced with promotion. Golden Boy wants another Canelo payday, and that's how that was their end game to make that money with that instead of of course they couldn't promote Canelo anymore. So so yeah, that's just another way to make some more money and give the boxing fans what they've been craving, the Canelo fight. Wasn't the fight what they wanted, but it's a fight, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I think most people wanted to see him versus Benavidez, but we'll
Yeah,
see if
like
that ever happens.
most people are already ready to throw Canelo under the bus and say, you know what, fuck you and your career, man. Like, bro, if you don't fight Benavidez, don't fight no more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fucking just give it up. And that, like, look, the fans, if you guys want to really make some shit happen, you gotta start boycotting shit. You gotta start fucking just not showing up to events. You know what I mean? Because look, if these fighters are disrespecting the craft and you pay the ticket, there's a problem. So like I feel like fans need to stand up, fighters need to stand up too. You know what I mean? Like, look, man, like this kind of nonsense can't keep going on. Like you already have Golden Boy trying to justify Ryan being that person now. And like that stuff is hurting boxing. It's not helping boxing.
Got you, got you. Who? And this is my last question for you. Who do you think is so? Oscar thinks it's Ryan. You know, if you ask PBC, they tell you it's Tank. Who do you think is? And obviously, you know, they could tell you it's Tank. Maybe they tell you it's Canelo. They're doing business with him. Who do you think is the face of boxing today?
I don't know. I don't know. You can't say Ryan because he just lost the Tank like yesterday. Like what the hell? And like Tank is a star on his own. You know what I mean? And it's like yeah, but you fought Devin Haney, not necessarily the strongest fighter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And Devin Haney could have easily been the face of boxing too. Like, I mean, he only took one loss. Like, you know what I mean? But Ryan only took one loss. And it's a lot of things going on. And like, who knows? You know, after this fight, Blair might be the face of boxing.
Now,
You know what I mean?
speaking into
So
fruition, my brother.
you know, so like it's a lot of things that might be that's kind of in the air right now. Like we can sit here and think of hypotheticals. Like I went against Adrien Broner spectacularly in a highly promoted event with Don King, and then right after smacked the living shit out of like Ennis. Then who the fuck is the face of boxing then? You know what I mean? What happens if like my next fight is Terrence Crawford? Who the fuck is the face of boxing then? You know what I mean? That means there's a whole end of a whole era. And the face of boxing happens to be 34 years old. And time, neither time, promotion, or haters can ever stop that man. You know how fucking powerful that is? There's people out here ready to make a movie on my life long before I die. Like right now. My career ain't even fucking finished. They already writing movies and books and stuff like that for you guys. And that could be face of boxing. You know what I mean? The face, like, what does it mean to be the face of boxing? Does it mean that like that you're like this undefeated, unbeatable fighter, or are you the guy that like inspires the imagination of people? You know what I mean? That's like, yo, like this guy, I don't give a shit whether he wins or lose. This man just like I was dealing with this, and this, and this motherfucker saved my life just watching him. You know what I mean? There's things out there that like there's elements that we don't know that like maybe we don't know that could be the face of boxing. What does the face of boxing mean? I mean, because the first real face of boxing was Muhammad Ali. And that was at times where he wasn't even like boxing. He was transcending the sport. So what happens? You know, so I don't know. It's a very interesting topic.
For sure.
So I have a whole lot of variables.
A whole lot, a whole lot.